Morning, my dear children. I am Deepa Thomas, your zoology teacher. A warm welcome to our next section of zoology online class. I hope all are safe. The last class we have learned what is cell, what is cell theory, and the scientists associated with cell theory. Everything we have learned. Today we are going to start the next topic, that is a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. I think you are familiar to these two terms, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. And what is the definition of a prokaryotic cell? A prokaryotic cell means a microscopic single cell organism which has neither a distinct nucleus. That means a distinct nucleus means a nucleus with covering. That means a nuclear membrane is not there. And then other specialized organs means membrane bound organelles. That is known as a prokaryotic cell. That is known as a prokaryotic cell. And what do you mean by eukaryotic cell? An organism which contain well-defined nucleus with well-defined nucleus means well-defined nucleus with outer covering is also, that is nuclear membrane is present, and membrane bound organelles. That is known as a eukaryotic cell. Okay, so what is the main difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? In the case of prokaryotic cell, it does not contain well-defined nucleus. That means nuclear membrane is not present, and membrane bound organelles are also absent here in the case of prokaryotic cell. But in the case of eukaryotic cells, well-defined nucleus is present, and at the same time membrane bound organelles are also present. These are the main difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Okay, and then if you are taking more difference of the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, the first difference you can tell that means the first difference means in the case of prokaryote, it does not contain a well-defined nucleus, but in the case of prokaryote, it contains well-defined nucleus. And the next point, that's also you can tell that is a well-defined, that means membrane bound cell organelles are absent in the case of the prokaryotic cell, and membrane bound organelles are present in the case of the eukaryotic cell. Okay, these are the two differences that you can tell from that definition itself. And the next one is that cell envelope. That means cell wall is made up of, in the case of prokaryotic cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. And you know that in the case of the eukaryotic cell, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. In the case of the plants, you can tell that the cell wall is made up of cellulose. And the case of, if we are taking the fungus, that is a cell wall is made up of chitin. What is that? Chitin. That means, suppose, that is in the case of the prokaryotic cells, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. What is that? Peptidoglycan. Okay, listen. And the peptidoglycan, in the case of the prokaryotic cell, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. And if so, what is peptidoglycan? Peptidoglycan is a one type of polysaccharide. That is polysaccharide cross-linked with short amino acid chains. Peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide is cross-linked with a short amino acid chains. If so, what is polysaccharide? Polysaccharide is a long chains of carbohydrate molecule. Polysaccharide is a long chains of carbohydrate molecule. Polysaccharide is a long chain of carbohydrate molecule. Okay. Peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide. That means peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide that is cross-linked with a short chain of amino acid. If so, polysaccharide means a polysaccharide is a long chains of carbohydrate molecule. And if you are taking the main difference with the eukaryotic cell, in eukaryotic cells, if suppose cell wall is present, that is cell wall is made up of cellulose in the case of plants, and in the case of fungus, cell wall is made up of chitin. What is that? Chitin. Okay, what are the main differences? The first one, that is cell wall. That means in the case of prokaryotic cell, there is no distinct nucleus, and there is no well-defined cell membrane bounded organelles. There is no cell membrane bound organelles. And the next point, that is in the case of prokaryotic cell, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide that is a cross-linked with short chains of amino acid. Polysaccharides are a long chain of carbohydrate molecule. Okay. And next, in the case of eukaryotic cells, there is a well-defined nucleus is present, and then membrane bound organelles are present, and then cell wall. If cell wall is present, that is made up of cellulose or chitin. And then cell size ranges from, in the case of the prokaryotic cells, the cell size ranges from 0.5 mu m to 100 mu m. 0.5 mu m to 100 mu m. And then in the case of the eukaryotic cell, that is ranges from the 10 mu m to 150 mu m. 10 mu m to 150 mu m. These are the main ranges. Size ranges from the case of the prokaryotes, that is a 0.5 m mu to 100 mu m, and then 10 mu m to 150 mu m in the case of the eukaryotic cell. Mu m means micrometer. Mu m means micrometer. Okay, micrometer, mu m. So we can tell what are the difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell that doesn't contain a well-defined nucleus. That means the nuclear membrane is not present, and there is no well-defined cell organelles. And then prokaryotic cell, that is cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide. And then the size ranges from, that is 0.5 mu to 100 mu m. Mu means micrometer. Okay. And what about the eukaryotic cell? In the case of the eukaryotic cell, there is a well-defined nucleus is present. And then cell membrane bound organelles are present, and then the ranges, that is the size ranges from the 10 mu m to 150 mu m. And then if cell wall is present, the cell wall is made up of cellulose or chitin. In the case of the fungus, we can tell that is a cell wall is made up of chitin, and the case of the plants, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Okay. Okay, the prokaryotic cells are generally small in size. You know that the prokaryotic cells are generally small in size and multiply faster than the eukaryotic cell. That can be divided into faster than the eukaryotic cell. In the case of the prokaryotic cells are smaller in size, and that can be divided into faster than the eukaryotic cell. Okay, here you can see a figure of bacterium. I think you know that what is the difference between the bacteria and the bacterium. Bacterium means that's a singular, and bacteria means a plural. Okay, and here you can see the figure of E. coli bacterium. Here, what are the I just labeled here, that is a outer covering, that is known as cell wall, and next covering, that is a cell membrane, and another string like, that is a portion, that is mRNA. I will explain later. Okay, mRNA, and vacuole, and then bead like structure is present there, that is ribosome, and then cytoplasm, DNA, thread like structure, that is a DNA. And next here one structure is that this one is a mesosome. What is that? Mesosome. And next plasmid, round like structure, that is known as a plasmid. And these are the structure of flagella. Okay, these are the different parts of a bacterium. Okay, and now I am going to explain what are these parts. Okay, first part, that is in the case of a bacteria, the cell envelope. The first part is cell envelope. What is that? Cell envelope. Okay, the first part is cell envelope. What is that? Cell envelope. Here, the first part, that is cell envelope. Cell envelope means a tightly bounded 3-layered structure. Cell envelope is a tightly bounded 3-layered structure. That is a cell envelope. The 3-layered structure, first layer is glycocalyx. What is that? Glycocalyx. And that means it's the outer covering, and the middle covering, that is known as cell wall, and inner covering, that is known as a cell membrane. The outer covering, that is a glycocalyx. So what are the main functions of glycocalyx? That gives the main functions are protection and adhesion. These are the main functions of a glycocalyx. Okay. And the next one, cell wall. That is a middle layer. And the inner layer, that is known as a cell membrane. Outer layer, glycocalyx. What are the main functions of glycocalyx? Protection and adhesion. And the next one is a cell wall. Next layer, that is a cell wall. You know that the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. In the case of prokaryotes, the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide that is a cross-linked with a short chain of amino acid. Peptidoglycan, you know that. Okay. And then next layer, that is a cell membrane, that is a innermost layer. Okay. Okay, here look at here. The second layer, that is a middle layer, that is known as cell wall. A cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. On the basis of thickness of the cell wall, the bacteria is mainly divided into two. That is a gram-positive bacteria and a gram-negative bacteria. Gram-positive bacteria and a gram-negative bacteria. This gram-positive and gram-negative, that is name that's got from the scientist name. That means this technique, this is one particular type of technique. That technique is known as a gram staining. That gram staining, that is discovered by Hans Christian Gram. Hans Christian Gram. From that scientist name, that's a technique that is given this name. That is a gram staining. On the basis of thickness of based on the thickness of the cell wall, the bacteria are mainly divided into two: gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria. Gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria. So in gram staining technique, the bacteria retain a particular color. That means in this technique, the bacteria retain purple or blue color after washing with alcohol. That means different steps are there. After staining, the bacteria has to wash with the alcohol. After washing, the bacteria, suppose the bacteria retain the blue or purple color of that. The blue or purple color is the color of the stain. If the bacteria retain that blue or purple color, the bacteria is a gram-positive bacteria. If that suppose the bacteria is not retaining that particular color, that bacteria will be gram-negative. Okay. That means suppose in this technique, through this technique, the bacteria retain a particular color. That means a blue or purple color. That means washing with alcohol. After washing with alcohol, the bacteria retain that particular color. The bacteria will be positive, gram-positive. If that bacteria is not retaining that particular color, that means that bacteria will be gram-negative. What is that? Gram-negative. Okay, in gram-positive bacteria, the outer covering, that means that a cell membrane is made up of peptidoglycan. That's in the case of the gram-positive bacteria, that is thick covering, 30 layers of thick covering. That is 30 layers of peptidoglycan covering is there. But in the case of the gram-negative bacteria, that outer covering peptidoglycan is there. In addition to this peptidoglycan, another outer covering is also present there. That is made up of a lipopolysaccharide. Okay, after washing with alcohol, this layer is washed off. That's why that couldn't retain that particular color. That means a purple or blue color. Got it? That's why they are getting the negative, gram-negative bacteria. Got it? And outer covering, that is a bacterial cell wall that is made up of peptidoglycan. In addition to this peptidoglycan, another outer covering is also present, that is made up of lipopolysaccharide. In gram staining technique, after washing with alcohol, that bacteria couldn't retain that particular color. That means that particular color means a blue or purple or blue color. So that bacteria is not getting in the blue or purple color. From that we can identify that that bacteria is a gram-negative bacteria. But in the case of the gram-positive bacteria, that can only that means that's only a peptidoglycan covering. So there is no lipopolysaccharide covering, outer covering. So that's only have a polysaccharide covering. That means that's have only peptidoglycan covering. So that is getting in the blue or purple or blue color. After washing with alcohol, that can retain the purple or blue color. That's why that is gram-positive bacteria. You know that in the Rhizobium bacteria, that is a gram-negative bacteria. Staphylococcus, that is a gram-positive bacteria. Okay, these are the different types of the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. No need to, you don't want the detailed study. Okay, these are the cell envelope contain mainly 3 layers. First one is a glycocalyx, next one is a cell wall, and the next one is a cell membrane. Okay, next one is a cell membrane. Cell membrane means it forms a boundary of cytoplasm. Cell membrane forms a boundary of the cytoplasm. That means it is a semi-permeable. With the help of the cell membrane, the transportation that is happening in between the cell wall and in between the cell membrane and the outer covering, to the outer covering. That means a cell wall or glycocalyx or whatever it is. Okay, and then it is semi-permeable and it is a boundary between the cytoplasm and the cell wall. Okay, cytoplasm and the cell membrane, and it is made up of lipids, proteins, water, oligosaccharides. This cell membrane is made up of lipids, proteins, oligosaccharides, water, etc. Okay. And the next one is first point, that is a cell envelope. Next one is chromatophores. Okay, next one is the chromatophores. Chromatophores means these are the internal membrane system that contain pigments. You know that in the case of cyanobacteria we can see in different colors. So with the help of this pigment, that means the chromatophores that is giving the colors. So the chromatophores, that is an internal membrane system that contain pigments. Okay, the next one is a nucleoid. What is that? Nucleoid. Nucleoid in the case of the prokaryotic cell, in cytoplasm we can see that the different shapes of the genetic material, different shapes, irregular shapes of genetic material. That means it's a DNA. Nucleoid is a single circular DNA. Nucleoid is a single circular DNA which does not contain histone proteins. That's only. Okay. Nucleoid is there is a single circular DNA which does not contain histone proteins. Okay. This nucleoid is associated with another structure that is known as mesosomes. What is that? Mesosomes. The main functions of mesosomes are aerobic respiration and cell wall formation. The main functions of mesosomes are respiration and cell wall formation. Okay, that is a cell invaginations. If you are drawing the bacterial cell inside the cell wall, you can see that this type of structure is known as a mesosomes. Main functions of mesosomes are aerobic respiration, that means a respiration, and the next one is a cell wall formation. Next point is that the cell wall formations. So the first one, cell envelope. Cell envelope means tightly bounded three-layered structure that's contained the first structure, that is a glycocalyx, and next one is a cell wall, next a cell membrane. These are the three-layer structures. And next chromatophores, that gives the color to the bacteria. So example cyanobacteria. And next that is a pigment containing part, that is known as a chromatophores. Next nucleoid is a DNA, there is a single circular DNA which does not contain histone proteins. Okay. Next one is a mesosomes. Mesosomes is also associated with the nucleoid, and this mesosome, main functions of mesosomes are respiration, that means aerobic respiration, and cell wall formations. Okay. Okay, the next part is flagella. What is that? Flagella. Flagella means the motile bacterial cells are provided with a thin filamentous extension. The motile bacterial cells which are provided with a thin filamentous extension, that is called a flagella. Here you can say this is a bacterial cell. The bacterial cells, these flagella, that's mainly help for the movement. So the motile bacterial cells which provide a tube-like extension, that is known as a flagella. The flagella contain mainly three parts. First one is the filament. What is that? Filament, hooks, and basal body. Filament, hooks, and basal body. The filament is the largest part. The flagella contain mainly three parts: filaments, hooks, and basal body. Filament is the largest part, and this flagella is made up of one particular type of protein. That protein name is flagellin. Okay, the flagella is made up of a protein. That protein name is flagellin. The flagella is contained, that is a motile part, that's contained mainly three parts. First one is the filament, next one is the hook, and the third one is the basal body. And the filament is the largest part, and this filament is, that means the flagella is made up of a protein. That protein is known as a flagellin. What is that? Flagellin. And the next one, fimbriae and pili. Okay, fimbriae and pili. These are also surface extension of the bacterial cell. These are also surface extension of bacterial cells, but they are not concerned with the motility. that doesn't provide the help for motility. Okay, and next fimbriae means the bristle like structures. In the case of the brushes, we can see the bristle like the bristles. The bristle like structure is known as fimbriae. Bristle like structure is known as fimbriae. Okay, and next pili. These parts mainly help for the attachment. Okay, attachment for the cell or other type of attachment. Okay, and then next one is a pili. What is that? Pili. Pili is also elongated tubular structures. That is a minute hair like structure. Pili is a minute hair like structure. That means in the case of bacteria, at the time of the conjugation means it's one type of reproduction. The bacteria shows mainly three types of reproduction. That means conjugation, transduction and transfusion. Transduction, transfusion and conjugation. At the time of the conjugation, this pili is mainly using for the attachment. So this pili is also known as sex pili. Sex pili. The pili is made up of one particular type of protein that is known as a pilin. Pilin. These are mainly helping for the attachment. Okay, these part, that is fimbriae, pili, these are mainly that doesn't provide the motility. These are mainly help for the attachment, helping for the attachment. Okay, pili is made up of one particular type of protein that is known as a pilin. Flagella is made up of a protein that is known as a flagellin. And here the pili is mainly for the attachment in the case of the conjugation. Conjugation is one type of reproduction. Bacteria shows mainly three types of reproduction. The first one is that conjugation, transduction, transfusion. In the case of conjugation, the pili is mainly using for attachment. So the pili is also known as sex pili. In E. coli, that means in the male E. coli only we can see this pili. That is mainly using for the attachment, the type of conjugation. So it is known as a sex pili. Okay, pili is made up of protein. That protein known as a pilin. Fimbriae is also bristle-like structure. That is also helping for attachment. Okay. And these are the different parts. Okay. Next one is a ribosome. What is that? Ribosome. I think you are familiar this term, ribosome. Ribosome is a membraneless organelle. So the ribosome is present in the prokaryotic cell also. We know that membrane bound organelles are absent in the case of the prokaryote. But here we can see that a ribosome. Why? The ribosome is a membraneless organelle. Okay. If we are drawing the ribosome, then simply we can draw like a beaded like a structure. But the ribosome contain mainly two parts. That is a larger subunit and a smaller subunit are also there. Larger subunit and a smaller subunit are there. In the case of bacteria, ribosomes are mainly seen in two types. That is 70S and 80S. 8 means Swedberg unit. That means a sedimentation unit. 70S and 80S subunits. 80S, two types of ribosomes we can see. But in the case of prokaryote, only one type. That is a 70S. 50S and two divisions are there, 50S and 30S. No need to add together 50S and 30S. If you are adding together, you will get only 80S. But 80S ribosome only seen in the case of the eukaryote. In prokaryote, we can see only 70S ribosome. Two units are there. That is a larger and smaller subunits are there, 50S and 30S. Ribosomes mainly help for the protein synthesis. You know that for the protein synthesis, ribosome mainly helps. The ribosome in the case of the prokaryote, 70S ribosome, we can say that. In some cases, the ribosomes looks in a, that's a beads in a string, beads in a string. That means in a string, the beads attached like this. Like this, we can see that the ribosome. This is known as a polysomes. Polysomes. Polysomes or polyribosomes. Polyribosomes. This string that is known as mRNA. mRNA. That is, you know that RNA is mainly three types. mRNA, rRNA and tRNA. Okay. Detailed study you will study in the next class. Okay. mRNA means messenger RNA. In some messenger RNA, the ribosome is attached together. A ribosome that is in a beads in a string. That type of structure is known as a polysomes or polyribosomes. Okay. Polysomes or polyribosomes. Here in prokaryote we can see only 70S ribosome. 70S ribosome contain two divisions, 50S and 30S. Okay. S means Swedberg unit or sedimentation unit. And mRNA, in mRNA we can see that the ribosomes are attached. That attachment that is known as, that type of mRNA that is known as polysomes or polyribosomes. Okay, got it. Okay, next one is inclusion bodies. Inclusion bodies means they are non-membrane bound structures freely lying in the cytoplasm. The reserve materials are mainly stored in inclusion bodies. That is in the case of the cyanobacteria, gas vacuoles are present. In the case of cyanobacteria, gas vacuoles, we can see that in these inclusion bodies, the bacteria mainly store the reserve materials, reserve food materials like glycogen, phosphate granules. These are mainly stored in the inclusion bodies. These are non-membrane bound structures freely lying in the cytoplasm. These are the inclusion bodies. And next, the last class we have learned what are the different types of cell and longest cell, largest cell. Which one is the largest cell? Ostrich egg. And in the case of the human body, if you are taking the human body, the largest cell and largest cell, that is a human ovum, and that means a female ovum. And next, the smallest cell, sperm. And if you are taking the commonly, if you are taking the smallest cell, that means a prokaryotic cell, that one is the mycoplasma. Mycoplasma or PPLO, Pleuropneumonia-like organism. Pleuropneumonia-like organism. These are mainly attached with plants. These are causing some diseases in the case of plants. That means in mulberry, the dwarfism is mainly causing in mulberry due to PPLO, mycoplasma, and in some other domestic animals. These microorganisms mainly affect in some domestic animals also. Mycoplasma is also known as a joker of the plant kingdom. Joker of the plant kingdom. Why are calling the joker of the plant kingdom? Because they can change their size and shape according to the regards the environmental conditions. That's why it's known as joker of the plant kingdom. That can change the shape and size. That's why it's known as joker of the plant kingdom. Which one is known as joker of the plant kingdom? Mycoplasma. Or another name is PPLO, Pleuropneumonia-like organism. And inclusion bodies means that is a non-membrane bound organelles that's freely lying in the cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cell, and is also the reserve materials are mainly stored in the inclusion bodies. Okay, PPLO, mycoplasma is the smallest cell. It's a prokaryotic cell. This one is the smallest cell. That can change the shape. That's why it is known as a joker of the plant kingdom. And friend of mankind. Bacteria is known as friend of mankind. Okay, these are the main topics.
There are organisms so tiny that we need powerful microscope to see them. Many of them are prokaryotes, tiny, single-cell primitive organisms like bacteria. Bacteria have tough cell wall like plant cells. They don't have nucleus, but they have genetic material such as DNA concentrated near the center region of cell, forming nucleoid. A prokaryotic cell doesn't have membrane-bound organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, etc. But it has ribosomes for protein synthesis. Though made of single cell, many bacteria have filament like flagella, which can literally rotate and act like a propeller to make the bacteria move. These small hair-like structures are pilars which help it to connect with other bacteria. They are primitive and simple form of life that survived through billions of years.